Hey, what's going on, everyone? Here are the readings for each zodiac sign for the full moon in Libra, beginning March 31st, 2018. We can consider these to be used for your sun, moon, and rising. There's a couple of astrological events going on. I mean, Saturn and Mars are coming together, they're conjuncting, they're, squaring the sun, and it's Chiron's at 29 degrees Pisces. I mean, it's crazy energy right now. I'm pretty sure you guys feel it. Like, I mean, imagine how, us psychics and us spiritual teachers are feeling this, like it is debilitating energy, and just all that we can do is just write it out, but it's here for a specific reason. I mean, bad enough Mercury's retrograde, like, damn. Let's just write this energy out. Let's all as a collective be mindful of our temperaments and be mindful of, let's take the time to be a little bit more compassionate. Let's take the time to not involve ourselves in certain situations that one may not necessarily, regard us. And also, let's remember to celebrate each other's strengths and forgive each other's weaknesses during this time. If what we are about to do or say doesn't find this or leave the situation better than we find it, we probably shouldn't maybe do it around this time. Let's just be extra cautious and being a little bit more compassionate, and let's not be so impulsive, and let's not be so quick to make a statement. Let's not be so ambitious, Oh yeah. Also, I wanted to mention also, as spiritual teachers, as a spiritual guidance, sometimes I need to say certain things. And also, guys, I mean, this is all psychically channeled. The majority of it is. So like, I don't have anyone to apply it to, so if there's no reason for me that I would have an emotional attachment, but if you find that something I say, kind of hits a nerve within you, if the event or in the event that something I say or something that's mentioned does kind of spark a little trigger in you, look within and try and find the root of that trigger. Try and find why it may have felt a certain way. And I mean, dig deep, go back to your childhood, go back to the dynamics of your parents or parent, go back to the dynamics of your expectations of relationships, go back to that, because then we are ignoring or we are disregarding the root of it. And it's just a temporary Band-Aid over the issue, and it's going to come up and surface again in the future, you know what I mean? And also it's giving into our ego too, guys, and let's not do that. It's not a great thing, Ego is the anesthesia that deadens the pain of stupidity. Let me say that one more time. Ego is the anesthesia which deadens the pain of stupidity. I'm not calling anyone stupid. I'm just saying that when we ride off of our ego, it ends up more than likely leading us to being in that headspace, or that finding ourselves feeling stupidity. And, sometimes stupidity should be painful, but this is just to inform you guys and to enlighten you guys. But I do love you guys' comments. I love the interactions, and I really love when you guys support each other. But thank you guys for the continued support and for all of your kind words. And also, guys, per usual, these are general readings. So just take what resonates for you, leave what doesn't. The messages here can either be coming directly from you, be happening to you, or involving or regarding someone involved within the situation or circumstance that you are currently experiencing. Regardless of what is stated or what is said here within these readings, remember to always follow your own intuition and your own inner guide, for it would only lead your soul and your spirit to supreme happiness. And also remember, guys, God will and always is with you throughout every single situation, ordeal, trial, and tribulation. But it's ultimately your decision in the end to allow his involvement. Without further ado, guys, here are the readings for each zodiac sign. Intuitiveperceptions.com to book a reading. All right, guys? Aries, the zodiac baby. All right, Aries, what's going on with this moon cycle? You came up in your own reading reversed. That don't look good. That could mean, Aries, you feel like you're losing control. You feel like you can't be comfortable within your environment. And also, the Emperor reverse can be quite a very nasty energy. If you feel like you can't reign over your empire, can become a little very anxious energy that can be deflected, But I feel, Aries, that what I'm picking up with this moon cycle here, you may feel, as aforementioned, and I also feel I'm really picking up, Aries. Be careful with the smothering. Now, when I say smothering, what I mean is it's more of smothering situations or smothering your opinions about situations, kind of overdoing it a little bit, you know, and individuals who have or their Mercury is in Aries, you know. I can understand right now, retrograde, you know, y'all been hearing about it, but yeah, like so, you know, just be careful with the words, be careful with the communication, be careful with the delivery as well, and also smothering. I'm really just picking that up. Like my guides are like, smother, smother. They just keep saying that. But be careful with the smothering of the situations. Be careful with like, okay, you know, Aries, like when you make your point, that's it, you know, and that's cool. But let's not keep it going, you know, let's not keep it alive. Let's just, you stated your truth, you said what you need to say, and that's cool, you know. But I feel like this smothering may come from feeling not in healthy control of your situations or of your life right now. Aries, I'm kind of picking up that you feel like you're kind of not in control of your destiny a little bit, or you feel like you're not in control. Aries, okay, just Aries, listen, okay. The divine spirit, God, guides, higher power, creator, it's all the same thing off from the same source, you know. Source is coming in, Aries, and they are wrapping you in a straitjacket, and they're saying, we gave you the chance to surrender to the higher power, and you chose to not do it, Aries, in such an Aries fashion, you know. And coming from a natal Aries moon right here, him speaking, I get it. But, you know, the divine's coming in and saying, we have been trying to reach you, but no one seems to be home when we call. And Spirit's coming in and God's coming in and he's just taking control. And he's like, damn it, we want the best and we have your best intentions, but just Aries, trust it. And I feel like that's what's going on. You know, Aries, you want to cut the crap out of your life. You're trying to get down to the point of things. You're trying to get down to solutions, you know. And I feel like that smothering is going to come in, you know, kind of like I said, it's going to be very like no, and it's like, Aries, you're beating the dead horse, like that kind of thing, you know. Because I feel like you're having trouble believing in yourself right now, Aries, a little bit. And therefore, in turn, you feel like you need to restate things, and then people then may ignore it and not absorb it, you know? So, but it's because there's a divine plan here, Aries. So just, you know, and I know that when I use that word surrender, Aries, you're like, oh, hell nah. But it's different. It's more of a acquiescing, you know, to God and acquiescing to Spirit. Because Aries, they have and they want they have your best intentions at heart, and they know what's great for you. Like, why would we not? It's like not trusting and not believing in wonderful, supportive, all around great parents. Like, why would you not, you know? It's the same concept, you know, because, you know, I mean, very rarely, you know, does the divine need our assistance and our help. You know, sometimes, but not really, you know. But we need their help, because if it was left up to us, we don't know what the hell we're doing, you know. So we look to them and they help guide us, and listen to your intuition, Aries. You know, let Mercury retrograde kind of die down, and then, you know, everything will kind of go back a little bit to Norman a little bit, but just surrender to the higher power, Aries. And I know it's going to be difficult, but it's going to be a lesson for you in time. You're going to be like, damn, why did I fight so damn much? Like, you know, you're going to have those moments, Aries, but you're all right. Don't smother, and you'll be okay, Aries. Just control your impulses and control your recalcitrant ways of, you know, fighting off, you know, the divine from coming through, because they're going to come through whether you like it or not. And then they're going to bless that crap out of you. Then you'll be like, damn, that's great. Trust in the process, trust in God, trust in yourself, and everything will follow suit. All right, Aries, let's see ya. Taurus, Taurus the bull. Okay, so check this out. So, what I'm picking up for you is going with the other plan. We have the Four of Wands reversed here, right? And what's very interesting is then on the opposite side, we have the Three of Wands here. So it's like almost like your foundation has kind of I don't want to use the word crumbled. Sounds like so, you know, over the top and, you know, dramatic, but I feel like you there's rebuilding your foundation, right? And it may have not worked, or it may have not been as solid as you thought it was, or that you initially prepared yourself to stand upon, if that makes sense. You know, just not as strong as you thought it was. Because I don't know, I'm picking up here too, because I feel like it involved someone else, and then that person didn't respect or they didn't put enough blood, sweat, and tears into that foundation. So therefore it was kind of, it was doomed a little bit due to the negligence of a separate person, place, or thing involved in your situation. But I feel like, yeah, so that's why I'm saying how I feel like it's going back. And usually in tarot, when you go backwards, it's not favorable. It looks kind of, kind of counterproductive. It looks like poor planning. But I feel like in this situation, there's always the exception, you know. And I feel like this is part of the exception. It's going with the other plan now. It's searching, Taurus, for, or you're searching for building the foundation based upon your morals and your ethics. And that's cool, you know, like it doesn't need to always involve the other person, you know, because then if and when another person comes in, person, place, or thing comes into the environment, then, you know, you can then, you know, rebuild, or you can then build upon, or you can then alter, you know, the foundation from which you laid. And we have the Chariot card here, which is great. You know, it's things moving forward. It's moderation. It's movement, you know, and it's also, I'm looking at this too, Taurus, what I'm picking up too is you not looking at it as like such of a loss. I mean, you know, your security was rocked. So you know, you just, I feel like you felt it. You've taken it in, you've assimilated it, you know, and then you're kind of like, you know, you had this moment, I feel, Taurus, where you were like, screw that, like, like I'm going to rebuild it, like, you know, like that kind of thing. And you found like that inner strength, and that's good. So then you went back to with the other plan, you know, and that's okay. That's all right. Very interesting spread here. And what I'm picking up too. But yeah, it's moving forward with things. I really like it. It seems very, I really, really like it. I'm getting a very auspicious feeling, or auspicious, vibration from this. I'm feeling like it's going to be great. It's going to be successful. You know, I feel like you're slowly starting to, see your ships come in. You're slowly starting to, trust yourself in terms of making your own decisions and trusting in those decisions. And, you know, I also feel, Taurus, like you're also looking at the situations like, well, if it messes up or it goes wrong, then it does. And then I'm just gonna, you know, go with the other plan. Like, you know, it's not looking at your mistakes as detriments. I feel like you are starting to, or you're beginning to, I'm going to say it like this, but desensitize, or you're becoming desensitized to your security being rocked, like in a sense, you know, like it's not so detrimental to you anymore. It's not like, oh my God, where you just, you know, you just lose your marbles, you know, where it's more of like you look at the situation, you stay calm, and then you say, okay, let's just alter it, or let's try this, you know. And I think that's great, because then that shows self-growth, and that also shows self-development and self-trust within yourself. And now that I'm mentioning all of this, I feel spirit just came right in right now. There's like 3 people standing behind me. But yeah, there's this message is definitely for someone out there. And I feel like you really needed to hear this. Trust in yourself and trust in your intuition, and everything will follow suit. And most importantly, you know, put God, spirit, the universe, whatever it, or whoever it is that you can find, or what you call it, it's all the same thing. It's all source. Just like where these individuals who are behind me are from. But yeah, I feel like I'm getting a very warm sense of emotion, kind of like everything's going to be fine, you know, over me right now. And I feel like I need to relay that to you, Taurus. But yeah, looks good. That's why I was saying I was feeling like it's auspicious. And right after I said that, that was aforementioned earlier, all of a sudden I felt spirit come through right now. That was interesting. But yeah, move forward, Taurus. I mean, take the good with the bad and just put it together and just move forward, you know, like try and balance it out as best as you can. And I see that you're doing that. And they also want me to tell you that your foundation doesn't necessarily, the strength of your foundation isn't always dependent upon the addition of another person or the addition of another person's resources, if that makes sense, to fortify the stability or the foundation. I kind of feel. Yeah. Right, Taurus? Well, do the damn thing. You know, step in your power and trust in yourself and put God first and everything will be fine. All right, Taurus, we'll see you. Gemini. Okay. So, Gemini, there's a lot going on, you know, and I feel like this full moon is, you know, going to really kickstart the change, you know, that's coming. I feel as though that it's going to be change that is, that's the best way to describe this. Change is going to come, right? But it's going to be something of, it's going to have a latency to it, if that makes sense. You know, Gemini, you see this coming, you know what's going on. And I feel, Gemini, that with justice reversed here, you know, whenever I see that, I usually say, or my first inclination is to kind of conclude, you know, that someone's getting the shit end of the stick, you know, or at least the good guy gets, you know, the bad, and then the bad guy gets the good, you know, like in a convoluted way like that. A misalignment or uneven amount of give and take and not to its respectful owner, you know? And I can see here, Gemini, that when this transpires for you, you know, you're going to feel, Gemini, that to protect yourself, you know, I feel like you're going to need to, or you're going to feel like you have to, or you feel the need to kind of do some background type of work. Now, this background type of work, Gemini, I feel like it's going to consist of, or it may consist of, kind of contrivance, you know, planning things. And I'm kind of picking up, Gemini, that it may not be to your highest good or to your best, you know, or of your best, I should say. I feel like this is going to be, Gemini, like kind of a reaction. And I feel like it's kind of, it's going to be something of, or according to how things pan out for you, you know, but I can feel here, Gemini, that, you're reverting kind of back to, you know, immature ways, you know, Gemini, I kind of feel. And I feel as though that you know that, how can I say this? You know that the only way that this can kind of work out, or, you know, how it will transpire, is if you fight fire with fire, you know? And I feel, Gemini, that you may find yourself compromising yourself in the long run, you know? And I'm talking about realizing this maybe, you know, deeper or long down the road, you know? And what's also interesting here too is all of these cards here, Gemini, they all have a sword in them, you know, or some type of sharp sword-like object. And I feel, Gemini, that whatever's going on, you know, I just want you to check in with yourself, and I want you to take a step back, Gemini, you know, and kind of look at the situation and really take into account if you may be compromising yourself, if you may be giving your power away, if you may be kind of dealing with some subconscious triggers. You know, I kind of feel like that's what's kind of going on. I feel like you're going to be triggered during this moon cycle, or just, you know, in April 2018, all in all, you know. And I kind of feel, Gemini, that you may be on the verge of kind of wanting or feeling the need to play kind of devil's advocate, you know? And I really don't want you to compromise yourself, Gemini. And also, I want to also bring up that what's interesting when I'm picking up here is that, you know, if this is coming from a lower vibration, Gemini, you know, given whatever the situation may be or how you react to it or how you react accordingly, you know, I kind of feel, Gemini, that if it is of a lower vibration, it may be kind of riveting for a certain amount of time, you know, while the thrill is kind of still around. And, you know, Gemini, your sign, you know, ruled by Mercury, you kind of, you're very witty and you're very quick, Gemini, you know, and you tend to, it's a little bit difficult to keep your attention span for for a certain amount of time, you know, it's, you kind of just, you're very quick. So you move on to the next thing, you know, to gain more information about whatever is going on, you know? And I kind of feel, Gemini, that if you stoop down to a lower vibration, I kind of feel that for the time being, you may find this kind of appropriate, you know? But then I feel, Gemini, that you'll want to move on quick. And if there is any damage that's done or that comes from your wrongdoings, you know, if that's the case, I feel like other people that are involved, Gemini, may remember it for a longer period of time, you know, and I just would hate, Gemini, to see you kind of get, I don't want to say blindsided, but you kind of, you know, wanting to move on, and then it's kind of like over, you know, the thrill is gone. That song by, I think, Buddy Miles, I want to say, it's called The Thrill Is Gone. I want to say, yeah, that's the song. It's coming to mind right now. And I also feel, you know, that, you know, Gemini, in closing, I just kind of want to say to you, and I hope that you remember this, Gemini, that people will forget or tend to forget what you say to them. But Gemini, they never forget how you made them feel, and vice versa, you know? All right, Gemini, be good this moon cycle, and let's use this as a learning experience. Let's use this to go within and really see, Gemini, where these triggers are coming from. Because a lot of the times, Gemini, when people trigger us, they do it unintentionally, and then how we react to it or the way that we feel about it, it has nothing to do with them because they're unaware of it, you know? So it's our responsibility to recognize it and to work on it and to go within and see where these issues or these triggers reside, you know, Gemini. But remember that, okay? People will always remember how you make them feel. Cancer, the crab. I have said it before, and, you know, I'll restate it again. I mean, still implementing that fire, you know, and you guys are probably like sick of me saying that, but time and time again, Cancer, you know, you're coming up with these fire elemental aspects or cards within your reading here. And I mean, the King of Cups or King of Chalices is upright, you know, which is great. That's wonderful. That is your energy. Like that's all you in that corner, you know. And Two of Discs, balance, moderation, feeling like you can handle things that are thrown at you, feeling like, you know, nothing can throw you off of your path or can throw you off kilter, let's say. But then the King of Wands reversed, you know, I feel, Cancer, that during this cycle, there's going to be moments when you find yourself struggling between ego and emotion, you know, or ego and your higher self, something to that effect, I feel. And I'm also feeling, Cancer, that you guys are still implementing this fire and you're almost there because you have the Two of Discs here, and that's a great card. It's a wonderful, favorable card, you know, and it's upright. So it's beautiful. And the emotion is in the right place, or the intent is beautiful. It's great. It's coming from a benign place. But Cancer, it's all about the delivery. It's all about the what is remembered regarding the approach or the delivery of it. And, you know, Cancer, I'm feeling like there's a lot of passion here. There's a lot of just general care or general concern for seeing the situation work out favorably, or to see the situation work out to everyone's benefit. But I feel, Cancer, that fire side of you, it comes out at random times. And, you know, you may find yourself kind of in this moment or realm of kind of finding yourself being a little bit, or it being challenging, let's say, Cancer, to control this part of your essence, you know. You see how that even took me a while to even kind of get that out. I kind of feel like it's like that a little bit. Like it's realized after the fact. And, you know, Cancer, we have to catch ourselves while we are in the midst of it, you know. I'm picking up triggers here. I'm picking up also vulnerability. There's a real the sense or the outlook or the perception of vulnerability, Cancer. It doesn't sit very well with you in terms of being in that state, you know, like kind of finding yourself without your shell, you know. And, you know, coming from me, a Virgo sun, I get it, you know, Virgo hermits away too, you know. But I just feel like back to the fire element implementing into your sign, it's going to take some time, but you're almost there. I feel like you come closer and closer with each reading, you know. But just watch out for the delivery and the intent during this cycle. And also, I feel like maybe during the cycle, you're going to find yourself being able to balance things out when you kind of take your end of the responsibility, as well as the other party as well, or the other person plays the thing that's involved. But I kind of feel that, you know, it's going to take some time, but you're almost there. You're almost there. Let's watch out for maybe possibly slipping up in terms of trying to use our power over other people or apply our power over other people, because that's very contrary to your energy and to your you know, your zodiac in terms of the elemental properties, or the you know, the signs characteristics, I should say. But yeah, just be careful with that, Cancer. And also be careful with giving your power away. Don't give your power away. Don't compromise yourself during this cycle and following into April, you know. Let's not do that, Cancer, because when you compromise yourself, you then kind of throw yourself into vulnerability. And then we've already established how you don't. That makes you feel very uncomfortable. And I would hate to see you, you know, walk away sideways and like, ugh, you know, that you walk away and then, you know, whatever lesson was meant to be learned there is looked at in with a negative aspect or with a negative outlook. So therefore the lesson isn't internalized and isn't assimilated effectively, you know? So yeah, Cancer, look out for those things. But you're coming closer to this. It's almost here, almost successful. Just needs a little bit more catching yourself and catching the triggers and catching those moments of vulnerability that you sometimes may perceive as weakness or a detriment, you know? All right, Cancer, stay strong. You got this. You're almost there, okay? We'll see ya. Leo the Lion. All right, 5 of Swords, 8 of Swords, and the Magician. Yeah, Leo, this is a little rough here, you know, these 3 cards. What I'm picking up for you, Leo, is let's not be our own worst enemy, you know? Let's not involve ourselves in situations that we know are kind of detrimented from the start. You're going to have to really use your discernment during this moon cycle, Leo, to really look at situations for really what they are. You know, that's kind of tough when situations are just kind of presented or when they're just kind of thrown on us. But if we just take that little step back, we take that little quick minute just to kind of think it through, we usually can kind of conclude that upon initial review. You know, Leo, let's not, I'm going to use this word, but I don't mean it so strongly, but let's not be vindictive, you know. Let's not be, you know, the one at the end saying, you know, since it's the Five of Swords and there's owls, you know, saying, I have all the owls, yeah. And, you know, and everyone's just kind of looking back at you going, okay, you're the only one that kind of wanted the owls, you know, having a situation like that. And it's like, ooh, you know, you have that moment. It's, let's not fight a battle of one, you know, and that adversely affects us, and that is counterproductive. Because then, you know, Leo, that sometimes we find ourselves then stuck, you know, in between all of those swords with the Eight of Swords there. But the Eight of Swords is a choice card, Leo. Like, you know, you can escape. You can, I don't like that word, escape. You can set yourself free, you know. But what it is I don't know if you can see it there, but there's a blindfold over that individual's eyes in the picture there, or in the artwork there. It's not wanting to see situations for what they are, Leo, you know. And when we find ourselves fighting the battle of one, as aforementioned, we can find ourselves in a very precarious situation. And then, you know, Leo, we then have to look at ourselves and say, like, damn, like, I did that to myself, you know. Like, let's not be that individual, you know. Let's be mindful of not putting ourselves in that position, you know. And with the Magician here, it is upright. So I want to say, Leo, that your initial response or your initial reasonings are coming from a grounded place. But it's real easy to lose ourselves, you know, in the music. That song by Eminem's coming up. You know, I just feel, Leo, that we need to be a little bit mindful of our impulses and how we kind of involve ourselves in situations that ends up being to our detriment, and that ends up being kind of done, or us playing or being an active participant within the situation upon our own volition. You know, I feel like there's something kind of karmic here. There may be a lesson that may need to be learned, but we all have different situations and different circumstances at hand. But I just really feel, Leo, that if you are working on the self and you're working on your plans, which I'm pretty sure you are, let's just be careful. I'm picking up here, let's not be too confident within being the Magician, you know. The Magician has everything at his expense. You know, he has a cup, he has a sword, he has the pentacle, he has, you know, the wand, he has everything there for him. He even has, you know, a little glow back there. But I'm just really feeling, Leo, that let's not, if we find ourselves having success within our doings, you know, let's not let that kind of get to our head. Let's not rest on our laurels, you know, too quickly or prematurely. Because I kind of feel, Leo, that you can maybe find yourself in precarious situations that maybe you may find yourself being the only one who really is concerned about it, which is your truth. So I'm not saying to completely, you know, disregard that fact, that aspect, but we must be, especially when we're the only ones, Leo, that are concerned with a certain aspect or with a certain venture, you know, being the Magician. We have to be the example, and we have to show people why it's important, you know. And once again, it's not about defending your truth, because once you defend it and you feel the need to like shove it down someone's throat or explain yourself too much or feel like you become kind of defensive, that's when you're not believing in your own truth, you know. But all in all, Leo, if this is an aspect or a situation that you seem to be the only one that's kind of concerned with it and that you're really passionate about, let's just be careful how we present it, and let's be careful how we are or become an active participant in the doing of it, you know, so that we can be the example, and so that people can then kind of look at that and say, that's interesting. That's great that, you know, Leo stood up for their passions and for their beliefs, you know, and then you can then be the lighthouse, you know. All right, Leo, just be mindful of those things, and I think you should be okay. All right, but remember, the Eight of Swords, Leo, is a choice card. Let's not be there with the blindfold, you know. All right, Leo. Be good, and we'll see you. All right, Viggity, Virgo. Okay. So, this moon cycle, I feel Virgo, I feel like there's some realizations that are kind of coming to light. I feel Virgo, kind of like I feel as though that you are starting to recognize how you can kind of like, I mean, I don't want to say be your own worst enemy, because I mean, I think every Virgo knows that, you know, up to a certain point, but it's more of like the background chatter in terms of your head, Virgo, or in your head, I should say. It can, you're starting to see that it has a real influence upon possibly and negatively tainting your emotional perception or perspective of situations. I feel as though too, Virgo, before I say that, I find this very interesting. Look at the Five of Cups there on the right-hand side. Normally in the traditional Rider-Waite deck, there's, you know, there's 2 cups or 3 cups, you know, usually behind the person. Virgo, all them cups are in front of you, you know, and you looking down, you're like, damn. But what's interesting is that none of them are spilled, you know? Which I find very interesting. Now, getting back to my point, what I was trying to say was how Virgo, like, you're starting to see that you can manipulate your emotions into being kind of befitting of the situation. And the situation, in terms of its perception or its initial perception of it, is kind of befitting of how you feel at that moment. I'm kind of jumping around, but what I'm trying to say here, Virgo, is this. You are starting to realize that, you know, your own perception and your own perspective about your ability to manipulate or to taint or jade your emotions to be befitting of a perceived situation, if that makes sense. It's something like that I feel is coming through. I'm also feeling like you're starting to ask yourself too, Virgo, like, why am I feeling disappointed all the time? Or why am I feeling or taking the butt end of the situation, the brunt end of the situation? I'm feeling, Virgo, like also there's another aspect here, something else that's coming through psychically, is like you're finding yourself being disappointed and sick and tired of having to always, or finding yourself always taking on the negative emotions of not only of yourself but of other people. I'm also picking up that you no longer want to kind of be the savior in a sense. That sounds weird, but you don't want to always be the one who has to fix everything, you know, even though you're great at it. You know, Virgo is the sign of service, but I feel like, you know, with this full moon and also moving into April, kind of feel like you're going to kind of take a step back. Okay, I don't know why I just picked up to you right now. Like when you take this step back, they just put it this way. People don't realize how hard you ride for them until you park. You know, like that. I kind of feel, Virgo, like, and I feel like you're kind of like, you know, you're parking and like you're throwing your emergency brake on, like you're getting out of the car and you're like, I'm gone. Like that kind of thing, you know, like you just need to take a step back. And I feel like April's going to be the month of recuperation for you. It's also going to be the month of looking at how you perceive situations, also how you perceive your emotions, and how like you can, like I said, jade or manipulate your emotions to be befitting of a certain situation that you feel is detrimental, if that makes sense. Like there's going to be a perception switch. And I really feel also too, Virgo, what I'm picking up on is you're getting like a spiritual download. You're going through you're being asked, or I'm just gonna say forced. I mean, really at this point, even that's a strong word, but you know, you understand what I'm saying. You're being forced to kind of look at all the crap that you know is put to the back burner or put on, you know, in the treasure chest in the back of the closet, you know, it's coming to the front and you're like, damn, you know, and you're forced to look at it because all of that needs to clear, Virgo. You need to clear all that crap out, all of those limited belief systems, all of those limiting beliefs in general, so that when you clear all that out, then this magnificent and beautiful spiritual newness, revitalizing energies regarding new information and regarding a spiritual perspective on things can come through because you made room for it, you know? I'm really feeling like that's kind of what's going on for you right now. You're gonna have a lot of hermiting moments. You're gonna hermit away, you know, and people are probably gonna hit you up and be like, where are you? But did you die? Like, you know, like those kind of situations. But, you know, Virgo, just let them know what's going on. Just be like, I'm hermiting away. And if they know you really well, they know that, you know, you need that time. But, you know, Virgo, sometimes you just want to disappear and fall off the face of the damn earth. But, hey, that's what we do. Fellow Virgo sun here, I get it. I do it too. But, all right, Virgo, yeah. So make room for the divine to come through and bless you with spiritual downloads. Okay, Virgo? And by the way, I know the picture's crooked, okay? I know they're a little off to the side. It's a little off kilter, but it's okay, Virgo. Okay? Don't manipulate your emotions to befitting of the situation, you know? But all right, Virgo, make the room, okay? Because nothing excites a Virgo more than learning more about something and really delving deep into it until there's nothing left to know, you know? All right, Virgo, we'll see ya. Libra scales, Libra scales. All right, speaking of scales, this moon cycle, it is in your sign, but I feel like the scales, Libra, are, they swaying like back and forth. You know, 1 minute they're good. You believe in yourself. You are conquering the world. And then all of a sudden, you know, a couple hours later, you're just like, oh no, I'm not who I thought I was. Questioning yourself, Libra. Let's not do all that. I feel like this moon cycle, Libra, excuse me, it's going to kind of put you in this space, Libra, where you're gonna have a little bit of trouble trusting your intuition. I'm seeing a little bit of self-doubt. I'm seeing here, and I'm seeing this very slowly peak up or culminate, or it's already commenced, I feel, or it has already commenced, but I feel like it's coming out of the dark, you know, like kind of, it's like, you know, you turn around, you're like, boop, oh shit, you know, like that kind of thing. It's sneaking up on you a little bit. And there's some of you Libras out there are, you guys are putting a lot of your self-worth upon the level or at the same level or precipice of your intuition. Now, let me explain. Yes, I can understand that, you know, but individuals who aren't very spiritually aware, or who aren't very on a spiritual path, or unconsciously or consciously not aware that they're on a spiritual path, you know, people just, you know, who aren't spiritually inclined, and there's nothing wrong with that, you know. I feel as though that you probably won't feel this a little bit, or I think you will, but it's going to be like on a deep subconscious level. But if you are spiritually woke, if you are spiritually aware, if you have a spiritual practice, you know, things of that nature, I feel, Libra, like you're putting your self-worth upon the same level or at the same, excuse me, my throat chakra is going off, Libra. Speak your truth, okay? To yourself, I feel. Anyway, back to what I was saying. I kind of feel like putting your self-worth upon the same level of your intuition. Like, Libra, like I feel like if your intuition isn't popping, or if your intuition isn't maybe as present, I feel as though that you feel like your self-worth dwindles I'm picking up and I'm feeling a little bit. And I can understand that, me being a spiritual being, spiritual teacher, I understand, like, I mean, and me being a Libra ascendant, I get it. I would feel like that too, but we have to look at it from a different standpoint, or from a different perception or perspective. I feel, Libra, like, there's something else that's deeper that's going on, that you're not trusting your intuition, which then means that you aren't trusting yourself in your, or regarding your self-worth, your self-love, your self-care. I feel, Libra, there's an aspect of not feeling like worthy of love, not feeling worthy of feeling like you can't, or you're having trouble, or you're finding it an arduous task to provide yourself with self-love. So therefore, you kind of feel like you aren't worthy of love if you are finding it difficult to give it to yourself. I hope I'm making sense. I kind of feel like that's what I'm kind of picking up psychically right now a little bit. And I'm also kind of picking up too that some things are going to come to light, and I feel like there are going to be a lot of things about yourself, about your past, about your childhood, about there's going to be a shift, Libra, and this is for everyone, I feel, spiritually inclined or not, just collectively. I kind of feel like, Libra, you're going to, a lot of things are going to be revealed about yourself, but don't look at it as a detriment. Don't look at it as like, poor me, or I'm less than, or don't look at it like that. These things are coming to light, and it would happen on a full moon in your sign. Like, set your intentions, stay strong, know that this is a learning curve. It just so happens to hit you right now, and it does not mean that it hit you late. You are on the right path. We are always on the right path, and we're always where we are meant to be at that specific point in time. And I feel like that's kind of what's going on, Libra. And I'm also picking up to, don't downplay yourself. Don't, I'm making a lot of Virgo references. I don't know why in these readings, but don't do the Virgo thing where, the background chatter in your mind, telling yourself you're not good enough, telling yourself you can't rise to the occasion, beating yourself up for old relationships or for relationships failing, and then blaming yourself for it. And then, okay, I'm also picking up to turning relationships around on yourself. Like when things go awry or things go wrong in a relationship, Libra's first inclination is to say to themselves, usually they say it to themselves is, oh my God, what did I do wrong? And that's okay up to a certain point, because we always want to take our end of the responsibility, but don't look at it like it all came crashing down because of something you did. Like something you did was like the defining moment. You know what I mean? It could be for some of you, but even then, that person or the other party, person, place, or thing, whatever it may be for you today, also was an active participant in that. Don't blame it on yourself, Libra. Look at the situations and look at your circumstances and say, and ask yourself, instead of saying, what did I do wrong? Or what did I do that messed this up? Shift the perception and ask yourself, what did I learn from this? Where did it go wrong in terms of what were the areas as to which I may have been triggered? Look at it like, put it into a context of growth and of exponential spiritual growth. That makes sense. Don't tell yourself, oh, don't blame it on yourself, like you were the defining moment. No, it takes two to tango, Yeah, I'm really picking that up for you, Libra. Also, be careful with like the communication from other people around you, I feel. I don't know why, but I'm picking up too, like, be careful with people that are, I call them when people are ear hustling, when they're like around the corner, like trying to pick things up and listen and, try and spread gossip and drama and, oh, I heard she said this, I heard. No, be careful with those types of people. Be a little bit mindful of your words, be mindful of who you give to this month or for this cycle leading up until or on, you know, throughout April as well, be mindful of the delivery, and be mindful of who is around that is hearing things, and that it can be misconstrued, or the story or the your intent can be altered by the time it gets to the third person. I mean, damn, by the time it gets to the second person, it's really different. But you know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? Just be careful with the communication, be careful with all of that. Yeah. I don't know why I just picked up right now. Be careful with butt dialing. I don't know why, just that was weird. But that goes back to just be careful with communication and delivery of it. Okay. Don't be calling people and, you know, your butt pressed it and it's in your back pocket. Be careful with that. I don't know why I picked up on that. But all right, Libra, stay strong. You got this. Don't doubt yourself. It's all gonna come in time, Libra. Okay. Once you start to love yourself and see things from a different perspective and develop that self-confidence within you, your intuition is going to pick up, because then you trust in the unknown, which is the intuition, you know? All right, Libra, stay good. Scorpio, Scorpiolo. Okay. So, Scorpio. For this moon cycle, possibly following into April. Scorpio, I kind of feel like you're like in like deliberation with yourself. You're kind of Scorpio, you know the damage that you can cause. Okay. You know, I'm just gonna say it, Scorpio. You know how vindictive and conniving you can be, Scorpio. Okay. And I have a lot of Pluto in my chart, so this resonates, you know? But that's besides the point. These are your guys' messages. But back to my point. Or back to what I'm picking up, you know, psychically here. Is like, you know the kind of damage you can cause, you know, and you know those deep waters that you know you stay away from, because you're like, oh hell no, and you know, forget bringing someone else in there. I'm like, low, that's crazy. Anyway, I kind of feel, Scorpio, that you know, there's a dualistic aspect here in terms of you are finding it hard to control that part of you. But I feel like you're still trying your hardest, and I feel like you are successful at kind of assuaging that or calming it down. And I also feel, Scorpiolo, that there's a sense of not wanting to conform to that archetype anymore. You know, there's you don't want to be known for that anymore. You don't want to allow yourself any longer to get to that point, you know? And I feel like this is good, you know? And normally if, you know, I were to see the Hierophant reversed and the Magician reversed, like, you know, I would just be like, oh no, what's going on, you know? But I feel like with the Four of Swords there's an understanding, there's a contemplation, there's you're catching yourself, there's introspection kind of going on about those two aspects. And hey, I'm off a damn growth, right? And you're catching yourself, and that's great, Scorpio. I'm glad to see that. You know, when I see things like that, like a viable and respectful contradiction in the cards, if that makes sense. Like, you know, I feel like I'll give credit where it's due, you know, and I feel like you're viewing this, you're trying to take the higher road, you're trying to not get yourself there anymore, because I think you're starting to realize, Scorpio, like, damn, it's so much energy, like, to stay in that vibration of just being conniving and being, I'm not saying that you are, I'm just saying, like, you know, of what can come about, you know, when we get in that space, you know. It's just so much energy to stay upset. It's so much energy to remain so, you know, in that headspace and to keep that vibration going. It's just, my God, it's debilitating and exhausting. And then, I mean, it's just, it's counterproductive, you know, because in the end, I mean, it doesn't solve shit, you know. I mean, it just throws you more into your feels, and then it just makes the situation, you know, it exacerbates it or makes it, you know, worse than it is, you know. And I forgot which sign I told, but, you always want to, Scorpio, try your best to, leave situations better than you find them, but, comma, not when it causes you to compromise yourself, or when you find that it's to your detriment, and that's when you have to kind of do the Four Swords thing, where you kind of like back up a little bit and then kind of like, re-examine things. But let's always try, if we have good intention and it's favorable, our intention is a favorable aspect within this circumstance situation. Let's try and leave situations better than we find them, and a lot of it starts with, Scorpio, goes back to the self. And I think that you guys have done a lot of healing during this time. And remember, I kept saying it over and over. Y'all gonna do some healing. Y'all gonna do some healing. I'm pretty sure you guys are all like, shut up with that healing. But look, you really have. And it's coming through in the cards, it's coming through in the messages. It's coming through, what I pick up psychically, and just, the downloads that I get. I'm pretty sure you guys are getting them too, and it's just, you're starting to tread them waters, Scorpio. Nice. I like it. But you're still like, ugh, you're like dipping your toe in it. You're like, ugh, ugh. But hey, I don't give a crap how long it takes, as long as you get there, and as long as there is work being done, and, it's at your own pace, Scorpio, and that's fine. And that's okay. Other signs like to rush into, Aries would just be like, what's going on? Bam. And they'll just run right into it, but, you guys are more like, just chill. We'll get there, which is good, All right, Scorpio. That's what I'm really picking up. Maybe be mindful of your boundary lines, redrawing your boundary lines. Let's not compromise ourselves. I feel, Scorpio, like when you start to get into that headspace of retaliation, that's when you're giving your power away. And that's when that your boundary lines aren't set properly. But you're already catching yourself. So that's good. But just be more respectful of your boundary lines, and also be more respectful of not setting yourself up for failure, and also not stooping down to that level and compromising your vibration, Yeah, and don't look at this work, Scorpio, as like tiring, or it's enervating, or it's don't look at it as work. Look at it as progress, I think that's what I'm getting for you, Scorpio. Okay, good work. Slow and steady wins a race. Shoot, at this point, it's all right. Healing takes time. It just doesn't happen overnight, But yeah, just be mindful of the boundary lines, Scorpio, redrawing them, and you not crossing them, because if we cross our own boundary lines, like I always say, we're not going to stop the other person, place, or thing from crossing our boundary line that we set, if we don't respect our own boundary lines, if we cross our own boundary lines. All right, Scorpio, we'll see ya. Sagittarius, the Archer. All right. I'm picking up and I'm feeling, Sag, that this moon cycle, let's be very, very careful and mindful of our words, and of the communication that's around. Because I can see here, Sag, that you really want to cut the crap out of your life, and you want to get down to the truth, which is not the problem, You are the truth seeker after all. But I just feel, Sag, that it can be maybe pursued, or it can be maybe ensued from your end, maybe in a very counterproductive way or manner. And what it is that you want to accomplish, Sag, or the truths that need to come out, or that you are speaking of, or that is just surrounding whatever circumstance that you are experiencing right now. I really just feel that be careful with the communication, because we always want things to be absorbed and not ignored by or from the second party, and, Sag, we also want to hold and love ourselves with integrity throughout the entire circumstance or ordeal as well. Let's not give our power away, Sag, and let's not renege on everything we've built up until this point. Let's be just mindful of where communication is at, where it's coming from. I'm also picking up the sources that you may be getting information from. I'm not saying walk around, be paranoid, but I'm just saying just maybe take into consideration where it's coming from, the individuals that this information may be coming from, that's given to you, possibly, if it has to do with this circumstance that you may be experiencing. Because, Sag, I'm really feeling like it can easily kind of go awry. It can easily go left, and then, Sag, you can maybe find yourself feeling kind of ostracized. You can maybe feel yourself kind of not feeling part of the same group. And I'm also picking up here too that, sometimes we kind of have to feel that sometimes. I'm not saying that anyone deserves it. I'm just saying that sometimes we have to feel that so that we can then stand in our truth. And we know that if that aspect is our actual truth, or if it's not, sometimes, Sag, like, they can turn into real burdens, and especially, Sag, like, it can turn into a burden, and it can be very burdensome, when it's something that we carry that maybe necessarily isn't our truth or doesn't belong to us, or was something that we became involved in, because the Ten of Wands and the Five of Pentacles, Sag, those are choice cards, Now, let me clear that up. Exactly how they are presented to you, or exactly how they are, or how you become involved in it, or the culmination of it, or like, how you become involved in it, basically, is kind of a little bit out of your control sometimes, because it depends upon the environment that you're in. But we choose to indulge in it. We choose to play or be an active participant in either creating it, in pursuing it, or perpetuating it, and the Five of Pentacles and the Ten of Wands they're cards of choosing to feel as soul, and also we have to take our end of the responsibility because of it, But let's just be mindful of the words. Let's just be mindful of the communication. Let's be mindful of how things are coming out. I also want to say, maybe during this moon cycle, Sag, just kind of take a step back before maybe you speak. Now, when I say that, what I'm implying here, what I'm inclining here is, let's just be mindful that, let's ask ourselves, Sag, what I'm about to say, is it going to better the situation, or is it going to exacerbate it? Is it going to hyperbolize the situation? Also, you're going to have to ask yourself, what I'm about to say or what I'm about to do is going to be ignored and not absorbed. Also, we always want to find, we also want to leave sad situations better than we find them, but let's not do it at our expense, or at the expense of our integrity, We have to know when to chime in, when not to, and this is just part of a learning cycle, part of a learning course, I should say, So let's just be mindful of that, Sag, And like I said, remember that the Ten of Wands and the Five of Pentacles are choice cards, It's a decision that we consciously make, sometimes subconscious, but eventually it comes to the point where when it's all said and done, and when after it culminates and after we realize what the lessons were, we then kind of can look back and say, like, wow, like, I chose to involve myself or be an active participant in that. So let's just be aware of that. And there's nothing wrong, Sag, with you wanting to cut bullshit out of your life, or get down to the point. Like, absolutely, it's an admirable quality that you have. But let's just be mindful of the delivery, I think that's all I'm really picking up for you, Sag. But yeah, let's just be a little bit mindful of that. Yeah, remember, it's a choice. Also, Sag, I just want to leave you with the little quote. Free will is anchored in morality. All right, Sag? We'll see you. Capricorn, the seagull. Okay. So, what I'm picking up psychically from, with the assistance of the cards, of course. It all works together as one, right? Anyway, what I'm picking up for you, Capricorn, is that I'm picking up two scenarios. Scenario one, okay, is that there's a relationship that you wanted. Excuse me. Oh, throat chakra just went off. Speak your truth, Capricorn. Anyway, you want this to work. You've been trying to make it work. But you know, it's to no avail, you know, and it's kind of like things are being withheld, information is being withheld, and you know, you're doing the Capricorn thing where you're sticking it out, and you know, that's a very admirable trait, Capricorn. But you know, sometimes you got to cut our losses, you know, and I see that it's this weird dynamic, Capricorn. Like it's like you know you should leave and you do want to leave, but at the same time you don't want to walk away because there's like unfinished business, and there's like you want to hear like that other person or that other party's situation, whatever it may be for you. Like you want to hear them say, yeah, I lied, you know, and then you can get like that, oh, I damn knew it. And like, you know, you can get that satisfaction and then maybe think about leaving. But all in all, Capricorn, I mean, you're just putting yourself through a little bit more misery, you know? That's scenario one. Scenario two is what I'm kind of picking up here is that things are coming to light. You're going to gain some really wanted and needed clarity about a lot of things. And you're sticking to your truth, and you're sticking to, you're being very adamant about finding this out. It's not really finding it out. It's just, can I say it? Like you have the bag and the cat's in there, and you're like, you're looking at the other person, place, or thing, whatever it may be for you today. And like, you're just ready to pull that string and be like, wow, yeah. Like, you know, you want to let the cat out of the bag. But I feel like you're kind of giving yourself the benefit of the doubt. There's a little bit of uncertainty here. And I feel, Capricorn, that there's going to be a learning lesson in this for you in terms of, you know, bringing your feminine and masculine sides together and making sure that they're in unison, you know, your shadow and your spiritual side together, you know, things of that sort. Also bringing the untruths and the truths together, just all around bringing two things that are the antithesis of each other and bringing them together and fusing them together and trying to make the best of the situation. But I just really feel like, you know, that some clarity needs to come out, but I feel like you already know the clarity. You know what needs to be said, but I feel like you want someone else to say it. In both scenarios, what I'm feeling is like you want or you desire to have the other party, person, place, or thing admit it, or you want to see this person, place, or thing kind of commiserate over your situation or whatever situation you're finding yourself or you're experiencing right now during this time. Yeah, I'm really picking up on that. And like, you don't want to leave. You're like, I ain't leaving till the fat lady sings. Like, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. And yeah, you don't want to walk away from it, even though you know it's really not emotionally fulfilling. But I feel like if you're putting an expectation, Capricorn, on the future, you know, and the future is so fluid. That's why we don't need to do that, or there's no need to put expectations on the future, because then we're only setting ourselves up for possible detrimental failure, you know? And then when that expectation doesn't get met, or it seems or it's perceived that it is ignored, or that it didn't transpire how we pictured it to be, we tend to force our way through, you know, and then it's all bad at that point. But I feel like one of the lessons here for you, Capricorn, during this moon cycle is knowing when to walk away, you know, because we're just not going to get that clarity from the other party, person, place, or thing. We're just not going to get it from them. And, you know, that goes with standing in your truth, Cap, and just knowing, like, you know, just, you know what the truth is. That's your truth. And that's all that really matters at this point, you know. And I mean, damn, that's what it is. And, you know, we also look at it from this, I'm picking this up too, also look at it from this perspective, you know, as long as you know your truth, and then you walk away with integrity and with a solidified persona about you, you know, if that's even a right word. I don't like the word persona, but you know what I'm saying, with dignity and humility, you know, regarding your truth, know that you're holding yourself to that integrity and the other person isn't. And you don't really need to hear it from the other person if you already know what the truth is, or what the truth consists of regarding your situation or circumstance, person, place, or thing, you know? I mean, damn, it is what it is, you know? Just let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater kind of thing sometimes. I don't know. But I'm feeling like that's kind of what's going on with you, Capricorn. Yeah, but knowing when to walk away, you know, knowing when to say, okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna go this way now. Like, you know, like that kind of thing. Yeah. Also, maybe a misalignment of loyalty. I'm kind of picking that up too. When I say that, what I mean is maybe giving or providing your loyalty or freely giving it away or handing it over to someone who isn't accepting of it or who isn't who doesn't rightfully deserve it. You know, there's something intertwined with that as well. I feel ultimately coming back to the self, you know, Cap. It always comes back to the damn self, right? But yeah, so yeah, it has a lot to do with knowing when to walk away, the misalignment of loyalty given and accepted, and yeah, self-work. You got this, Cap. Stay strong. Be careful with the misalignment of virtues, but you got this, Cap. Alrighty, we'll see you. Aquarius, the water bearer. Okay. You know, Aquarius, you rule the 11th house, you know, the 11th house rules you. The collective consciousness, you know, the groups. And what I'm feeling here, Aquarius, is that I would hate to see you this month or during this moon cycle, I should say, sweating bullets, you know, while running in place, you know, and I'm really feeling, Aquarius, that there's so much passion behind your circumstance or whatever it is that you are going through right now at this time. The passion's there and the vigor is there, but let's be careful to not have to defend it so much. Let's be careful to not find ourselves compromising our vibration for the let's not compromise ourselves or our vibration for an unjust cause, you know, or for something, Aquarius, that is kind of ignored, you know, and not absorbed, which this is your truth and it's okay. It's your path. Absolutely, Aquarius. But I feel like during this moon cycle, this passion can maybe, I'm picking up that you can maybe find yourself, or you may feel or perceive that you are being ignored, or that your emotions and your feelings may be ignored or disregarded. This tends to happen sometimes to us. And this also is very prevalent, or it happens to us very prevalently when we're on a very unique and spiritual path. You know, we can't become upset at it. Because then when we become upset at the process or in the process, and that it transpires or it ensues detriment upon ourselves, you know, and then we become our own worst enemy. When all of that transpires, that's when we need to take a step back and really re-examine our truth and see if it's really what we think or what we believe it to be. And I'm really feeling here too, Aquarius, that during this moon cycle, you may find yourself having trouble taking the good with the bad, you know, and kind of bringing it together and having a smooth sail, you know. And also, Aquarius, I'm feeling like there are other aspects to this. There's a real need to I'm picking up and I don't know why, but picking up a little bit of stubborn energy in terms of maybe not wanting to look at things from a different aspect or from a different vibration, or kind of hearing other people out, which sometimes can serve a purpose, you know. But at the same time, Aquarius, you know, whatever journey that you're on, whatever it may entail or whatever it may be for you today or during this time, we always want to hear other people out, you know, and hear other perspectives. And it doesn't necessarily mean that we have to sit there and completely imbibe it and take it all into consideration and actually apply it to our lives or to our truth or to the fore of our doings, you know. But it's always good to hear other perspectives, you know, because different people know or are very adept, or they know or very educated upon different areas of life, you know, and you know this, of course, but you see, this is a unique thing, you know, when different people are, you know, great at different aspects, you know, and that can be a weakness, you know, sometimes, or maybe it can be kind of, how can I say it? It can be kind of maybe counterproductive, but when we bring all of these people and all these ideas together, Aquarius, that's when the real beauty manifests. And that's what your sign is all about. It's what's best for everyone, what's best for the collective, you know, and don't forget, of course, you're part of the collective, you know, and let's not work against ourselves during this time in this cycle, you know. I'm feeling like you may find yourself kind of you may find yourself, or you may find people or individuals or person, places, or things kind of using their power over each other or over certain aspects, you know, but using power in a means or along the lines of intimidation to acquire or to produce a yearnful result, if that kind of makes sense. It's kind of coming in a little bit strange for me, or at least to relate to you guys, but that's kind of what I'm getting. Let's be open-minded, you know, as well. Stand in your truth, of course, but you know, I don't know why, but my guides want me to tell you when I'm picking up psychically, being an adult, you know, is knowing when to open our mouth, but also, you know, Aquarius, knowing when to not open our mouth, you know, kind of being befitting of the situation, but in a positive and higher vibrational frequency or light, you know, for the betterment of things. Yeah, so Aquarius, it's kind of what I'm picking up here. Be gentle with yourself this month. If you find yourself, or during the cycle, I keep saying that. During the cycle, be gentle with yourself and be gentle with others. You know, if you find yourself becoming very defensive, or you find yourself becoming a little bit overwhelmed, you know, Aquarius, just kind of meditate or find your outlet, you know, as long as it's healthy. And you know, just kind of, it's okay to remove yourself from the situation and to maybe kind of pull away from everyday life sometimes, and kind of just maybe adopt like a Virgo kind of quality, like hermit away a little bit, just kind of get your thoughts together and kind of see the bigger picture, or see where you stand within the circumstance, and where you can positively contribute and where you can maybe negatively be a detriment, you know. And I don't want this to sound negative, but it's just what's kind of coming through. But yeah, Aquarius, let's just kind of be mindful of all of that this cycle. I'm really picking up, let's not be closed-minded this cycle. I don't know why, but that's what's coming through. All right, Aquarius, remember to take the good with the bad and, you know, bring it together and find a happy medium so that you can move forward. And, you know, your chariot, you know, your two horses there are going opposite directions, and then your chariot splits and, you know, you fall off of the back of it, you know. Let's not also put the cart before the horse, kind of picking that up too a little bit. Let's use our ambition and our passion and our drive for positive things, of course, that can be remembered, you know, because when we pass, of course, and when we die, you know, we don't take anything with us, you know, but the one thing that does remain is our legacy, you know, and I know that that's important to you, Aquarius, so don't forget that during this cycle. Okay, Aquarius, we'll see you. Pisces, my double fish. All right, during this cycle, this moon cycle, kind of feel, Pisces, that I'm picking up very unique and I don't want to call it strange energy, but very I don't even want to use the word convoluted, but very eccentric. There we go. Very eccentric type of energy here. I feel as though, Pisces, that during this cycle, you may find yourself within a situation or a circumstance that has to do with like feeling like you may feel left out of something, or that you may have been an active participant in you feeling ostracized. But I feel as though, Pisces, that when you are within that, when you're walking through that mire, you know, of feeling ostracized or feeling indifferent, maybe a little bit, whatever it may be, I feel like you're going to find some self-worth here and some self-love. Like it's going to knock you back on your heels. The song by Frankie Lyman is coming up. Goody Goody. Check that song out. I kind of feel like you're going to, like it's going to knock you back on your heels. And then you may kind of, you know, you may have your moment of, you know, kind of dwelling in it and kind of riding the pity train and maybe driving the pity train or operating the pity train. But I say that with the most respect, you know, just we all have to take it in and we all have to just relish in the moment and then just, you know, move forward, you know, recognize that. Also pay attention to how you feel and why you feel like that. And it's going to come back to your childhood, I feel. But back to what I was saying, but in this moment, you're going to find some self-worth and some like, you're going to find this aspect of yourself that is going to come from strength and going to come from, you know, where you're going to say like, screw that. I'm going to follow my path and I'm not going to beat myself up for a mistake that I made, you know, especially if there was some ignorance involved. You can't blame yourself for that, you know, but I feel as though that, like I said, you're going to find some self-worth, some self-value, and I feel like this is going to put you on the right path. You're always on the right path, Pisces. It's just sometimes you have to go through, you know, to weather certain storms and, you know, walk through certain nightmares at times, you know, but I feel like there's a big transformation coming. And I feel like it has to do with self-worth. It also has to do with rising to the occasion at the most appropriate time at a very unexpected latency type of time, if that makes sense. I hope I'm making sense. Also, depending on yourself and you knowing your self-dependency and also other individuals seeing that in you. I just picked up right now, two Pisces, that maybe the group or the person, place, or thing that maybe made you feel ostracized. I feel as though that when you find this self-empowerment within yourself, they're going to see whatever it is for you, they're going to see that and how you're not affected. And then they're going to then look at you and say, wow, that's the opposite. Okay, that's pretty crazy. And then they're going to see that growth and that strength and power that you have found inside of you. And then they're going to come back and ask you, like, how did you do that? Or what's different about you? And they're going to want to inquire about you at that point. And I really feel, Pisces, like you're not going to look at them and just disregard them or just look at them like, you know, I feel like you're going to find that self-worth, and then you're then going to enlighten them. How about that? It's a weird turn of events. And I feel like that's kind of the transformation that's going to come. And it's what's best for you vibrationally and also for everyone involved within the circumstance, place, or thing that you're kind of dealing with during this cycle. But I really feel like that's kind of what's going to happen, Pisces. Lately, your readings also for April too, is very like, they're just very straightforward. Like they're very just like A, B, C, D, done. That's it. Cool. Like, which is not a bad thing. I just feel like, Pisces, during this cycle and also maybe during April, you may find yourself maybe dwelling on aspects that are maybe unimportant. When I say unimportant, what I mean to say is kind of dwelling on aspects that are more kind of in your head about certain things, kind of doing like the Virgo thing. Like, you know, when I say the Virgo thing, what I mean to say is like this. Virgo, their mind is very complex. No one thinks of the things that Virgo does, and no one scrutinizes things and breaks things down like Virgo does. But in turn, Virgo then thinks that everyone else thinks just like them, and that they think that other people or the people in question think that of them. And then Virgo then manifests self-fulfilling prophecies, and like the individuals or the second party or the outside influence or outside stimuli had wasn't even thinking that. Like, let's not do that. And bringing up Virgo, that's interesting. That is your opposite sign. That is, if this is your Pisces rising, then Virgo would be your descendant. So like your shadow side in a sense. Let's not delve into that. And let's not spend too much time. Let's not get stuck in that and in the mire of that, you know. But I really feel, Pisces, that you're going to see some growth from this, and you're going to be like, huh, that's weird. I did not see that coming. And it's going to be something like that. All right, Pisces, stay strong. You got this. Let things just transpire and trust the process and trust God, okay? And you'll be fine.